Alright, section 5.4. This is multiplying binomials. The gist behind this lesson is the FOIL method. So let's look at this. Recall, and this is your rule. It's a distributive property. If you have A plus B times C, that distributes into AC plus BC. But we're going to use this same rule for multiplying binomials. So, for example, let's say we have 2x plus 5 multiplied by 3x minus 4. Well, we're still going to use the distribution rule, but in a slightly different way. We're going to use what's called FOIL. What this stands for is first, outer, inner, and last. So, the FOIL method says this. We start by multiplying the first two. So a 2x multiplied by 3x. What we do 2 times 3 is 6. X times x gives us an x squared. The outer says I take the 2x and I multiply it by 4. But don't forget that this is actually a negative 4. So 2 times a negative 4 gives me a negative 8, and then we keep the x. The inner says I multiply the two inside pieces, which in this case is 5 times 3x, which comes out to 15x. And then the last says I multiply the last two pieces, which is 5 times a negative 4, which comes out to a negative 20. So, 2x plus 5 times 3x minus 4 using the FOIL method, we get 6x squared minus 8x plus 15x minus 20. Well, that can be simplified into 6x squared plus 7x minus 20 by combining our x terms. So our final answer comes into 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. Alright? Anything with a degree of 2 we refer to as quadratics. They're still polynomials, but they're specific polynomials, a specific type of polynomial that we call quadratics. So let's look at this answer and break it up into the terms. It's 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. Well, this is the quadratic term. And then this is your linear term. And the 20 is your constant term. Those will be more important later on down the road. Alright, let's look at a couple other of examples, and then we'll wrap up. That's pretty much it to 5.4. It's just the FOIL property. So let's look at y minus 4 times y plus 6. Y minus 4 times y plus 6. Well, using the FOIL method again, we go first. Y times y is a y squared. Outer, y times 6 is a 6y. Inner is a negative 4 times y, which is minus 4y. And then last is a negative 4 times a positive 6, which comes out to negative 24. The last step will be to simplify by combining your y terms. So our answer is now y squared plus 2y minus 24. So the FOIL method is actually really pretty straightforward. Not too bad at all. It'll take a little bit of practice maybe, but it's something that you'll use for the rest of your math careers. Let's do one more example with a little bit higher degree of polynomial, just to make sure that we've got this down. Let's look at m squared minus 5m plus 2, or times 2m squared plus 4m. So here we've got a higher degree of a variable. The FOIL method is going to stay the same though. The first, 2m squared times the m squared gives me 2m to the fourth. Remember that same bases means you add your exponents. The outer, m squared times 4m, is going to be 4m cubed. The inner is a negative 5m times 2m squared, so we get a negative 10m cubed. And the last is a negative 5m times a positive 4m, which is a negative 20m squared. So again, we can simplify the middle term, and our final answer is 2m to the fourth minus 6m cubed minus 20m squared. We can simplify this a bit more by taking out a greatest common factor of each term. The variable we can take out is an m squared. And the largest number we can take out is 2. So what that'll be is a 2m squared, well, that leaves m squared in this term. In the middle term, 2 times 3 gives us 6, and we're short by 1m, so we'll replace that there. In the last term, 2 times 10 gives us 20, and we already have our m in place. Now, the last step to this, we can factor this a little bit more, I believe. 2m squared on the outside, and then on the inside we can have an m minus 5 and an m plus 2. So this part right here, this step, is actually kind of the reverse of FOIL. Recognize if I FOIL this back out, I'll get back to this. I'll take this and multiply it by this. I get back up here. And so we can kind of do a reverse FOIL there. So your final simplified answer will be this one here, but we'll accept probably either one of these answers also. They're all giving you the same pieces of information. All right, so that pretty much wraps up 5.4. The FOIL method takes a lot of practice, but it's nothing too tricky.